Hello, everyone. It's Brittany and Jen from Ambition After Hours, and welcome back to another episode. We have another amazing guest here today, Hannah with Scored Athletics. Now, I'm going to get her to tell herself or tell you about herself a little bit coming up, but this episode is going to be jam packed with female entrepreneurship, golf info, and we just can't wait to jump in. So, Hannah, why don't you introduce yourself to our listeners? Tell us your backstory.
Hi, I'm Hannah, and I am the owner and founder of Scored Athletics. I started this brand because I was a collegiate golfer, and clothes out there are pretty ugly. And so I started Scored because it's like, hey, even though you might not be good at golf or whatever, you're still going to score because you got a good outfit at a attainable price. So that's kind of the story in a nutshell.
Yeah. And you know what? You just like, woman of my own heart, like attainable price, right? Like sometimes we go into those stores and it's like a little outrageous.
Yes, I'm like, okay, $120 for a dress. I don't know about that.
Amen to that. Well, every episode we kick something, we call it our high low. So we tell a high and a low. That's happened to us this week, this month, whatever it is. And Jen, maybe we'll start with you so Hannah can see how it's done.
Yeah. Um, so my high this week was the AGM of the Edmonton Business Association last night. I'm the current president and I was quite nervous about kind of walking through the year in review and hosting the AGM in front of, a good chunk of our members, and it went really well thanks to having a great board. So that was definitely my high for this week. What about you, Britt?
Yeah, no, I love it. Oh gosh, my high is playoff hockey's here. I
Yes.
love a good playoff hockey, right? So I'm an Oilers fan, obviously, being from Edmonton, and the energy that we have around playoffs is like no other. Like we go all out as Albertans and Canadians because we love the sport. So it's good to watch everyone kind of get into it.
Nice.
Yeah. Hannah, what about you? What's your high?
Okay, my high this week is I placed a purchase order for three of our products that are going to be launching in our first collection. So I'm super excited about that. And so, we've been working on this since like October. And so now that the final samples and everything is they're getting in, I'm like, okay, now I can finally place the purchase order for like three of our big items. So really excited about that.
What items are they? Can you tell
So
us?
they are the cart tote, the socks, and our rugby polo.
Ooh,
I'm
that's
so
so
excited for the
exciting.
rugby polo. I honestly can't wait. You will see my name on an order form. It's so cute. I've been watching you go through the process. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm very excited about that.
Yes, that's gonna be a really good one.
Well, not to bring us back down, but Jen, why don't you tell me about your low today?
So I know that us Canadians, Edmontonians in particular, because we're so far north, are supposed to be all about winter. But I am so freaking done with winter. It is April 24th and it is snowing today, and that is unacceptable. And when I walked into work today, I just said Merry Christmas to everybody because I was feeling like that's the vibe outside. And we should be thinking about golf, not thinking about Christmas lights. So I'm over it. I'm done with winter. That's my low.
Wow, that's crazy.
And Hannah, what about you? What's your low?
I guess my low would also have to be dealing with the purchase order part is there's I'm realizing that okay, for my bottoms, I'm gonna have to order two size lengths because I'm 5'3", so just because the skirt fits me well, it's not necessarily gonna fit my 5'7", 5'8" friends the same way. So I've decided that I'm gonna do it right the first time and I'm gonna launch two lengths. One that's like a normal shorter length, and then one that's like 2.5 inches longer, and even for the older ladies too, so that they can enjoy that because of course a lot of them don't want to show their legs, so which is going to push that part out even further. So I think I'm going to have to break the collection up into two drops, which I didn't want to do, but I don't want to half-ass it. I want to do it right. So um, if I'm really trying to serve all women in golf, that's the way that we're going to have to do it. So it's going to be a little bit longer, but it'll be worth it.
You know what? I have to say I appreciate the thought behind that. as someone who's worked in like merch for a very long time, some companies just don't care.
Yeah.
And for you to actually realize that that is like a hurdle you're gonna have to jump through going in, like, congrats to you. Might feel like a low today, but the
Yeah.
sales will make it high.
Yeah, hopefully. And even the curvy women too, if they have more of like a nice butt, like it's gonna make that skirt come up even more than like a normal body, I guess. So just thinking about all that is, it's kind of a low because it's like, okay, it's pushing it out, but it'll be worth it in the end.
Yeah, no, for sure. And we're like part of the short club too, so we
Yes.
get it. We're no taller than 5'2".
Okay.
My low today is yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Jen. It's probably the weather. I had to go outside today and I was like, yesterday I was literally talking about filling some like golf seats at a tournament that we're playing in, and today there's like a foot of snow on the ground, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I'm on the board for this golf tournament, and I just wanted to like sell out and do well, and no one's thinking about golf when there's snow on the ground.
Yeah, that's true. Brittany and I are on the committee for an all-female golf tournament called Bad Birdies that's being held in Edmonton, Alberta this year in support of a women's shelter. We're hoping to raise $20,000, so we're super excited about that. But we want to sell it out so that we can give the charity, the maximum possible donation. And this snow is not helping people think about swinging clubs. So yeah, I totally get that, Brit.
Get the snow off the ground for some marketing.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Yes.
I like can't wait to get out there and do content, but there's no green grass right now. It's all
Oh,
snow.
yeah.
So Hannah, tell us where you're from.
So I'm from Houston, Texas. So
Okay,
it's
I
naturally
sensed an
pretty hot.
accent.
Yeah. It's naturally pretty hot down here. Like, I don't even know the temperature today. It's probably like, I don't even know, like 85, 90. But it is very humid down here. It's 86 and it feels like 92. So,
My gosh.
it's kind of like golf season year round down here. The LPGA is happening right now in Houston at Memorial Park right now, so that's really cool. But yeah, I'm from Houston.
Well, and I sense the accent. Are you going to the LPGA?
I am not. I'm not. This weekend I have my son. So I have a 7-year-old son, and so it's our weekend with him. So I try to spend time with him the most. The
Well,
most I
no,
can.
that's, I mean, understandable. All right, well, let's jump into it, Jen. I'm going to hand it off to you first.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit more about your brand, Scored Athletics, and what led you to make the leap and start the company.
That's a great question. So, about 2 years ago, I was super into pickleball. So, loved pickleball. It was my life. It had taken over my life. And after college, I kind of put golf on the back burner. And because it was just crazy, you play 36 holes, you're walking, it's like you're golfing like 10 hours a day. And yeah, that might be some people's dreams. But when they're in college and your scholarship and it depends on it, it's like military brutal. And so I was like, I'm just gonna give up golf. So I got into pickleball and I was like, oh, let me do scored for pickleball. So I had this idea back then to do scored for pickleball apparel. Well, pickleball was not short-lived, but I own another business too. So that other business started picking up. I played less pickleball. And my fiance at the time, well, we're married now, but she was like getting back, she wanted to get into golf. And so I was like, oh no, like I am so happy I'm out. And so she had like kind of convinced me to get into golf. And so, of course, naturally, when someone gets into golf, what do you want to do? You want to go buy clothes, right? Because there's obviously a dress code. You can't just wear athletic clothes. So we go into like PJ Superstore, Dick's, and I'm like, wow, nothing's changed since I graduated. Like it's still ugly. In college, we got everything for free, so I didn't care what they gave me. I'm wearing it. It's free, right? So, but now that I have to pay for it, you're telling me I got to pay that much money for a swear polo, like for a golf round. So I was like, you know what? Let me go revisit like scored. And you know what's funny? At first, I was gonna try to do a play on words and call it party people. and I was gonna go like a Chubby's vibe where it's like super loud and out there, but I was like, everything that I was pinning and like finding as inspiration was like not that vibe. It's so I was like, okay, let me tone this down. And I was looking at like luxury stores. You have like Gucci, Dior, Prada, Rory, Aloe. They're all one words. And I'm like, okay, can I picture my sign up there saying party people? Like, no, I can't. So let me like rewind. So I'm like back to the drawing board. Like, what could I name it? There's so many, names out there. Everything's pretty much taken. Clubhouse, Luck Par, da da da, Birdie, Good Good, Good. Like, there's like good, good, good girl, girl. I was like, okay, there's way too many goods. Then there's bads. So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, let me think of like, and also what can I do? Because I could still bring pickleball back into it eventually, right? So I'm like, okay, scored. Let me go back to my name, which was scored, and I was like, yeah, you still score in golf, and no matter what you score, I want them to be able to get the outfit. And so then I took the E out, and I was like, you know what, this kind of looks better without the E. Because when I had it with the E, it kind of reminded me of like soccer goal, like you scoring. So I was like, let me take the E out. Let's like make it a little bit more luxurious, kind of like Altered State. Took the E out. So that was kind of how I came up on it. And I kept remaking the logo in Canva, and just until I found a font that I liked. And then when I found it, I was like, I scored. I was like, that's it. That's the what I want to do. And so that's kind of how I got to it. So the whole thing was like, I want it to look good, look luxurious, but not be $100 for a polo. Like that's just crazy. I'm like, why? So
What price point will your stuff start at then?
So I'm still getting the final prices on my end, but I ideally want it to be like 60. I want to like something where it's like, I don't know, like what would I pay and be like a no-brainer, I'm gonna buy this polo. If a polo was like 60 bucks, I would be like, I'm gonna buy this. Now if it's like if I see a polo that's like 85, I'm like, oh, I don't know, because now I'm gonna have to buy the bottoms, and then that's gonna be like, you know, my like that little like gift that starts going off where you're adding all the math up. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh no. So I'm trying to price it at where I would what I would pay for it. Because I still want it, I don't want to, I'm not trying to go Amazon prices where it's like cheap, because you don't want to be like that cheap brand. And obviously, if you go cheap, you have to get your materials and your items for cheap. And I still want quality clothes. So I'm thinking and it's gonna be around about 60 to start. And then I'm trying to keep everything under 100. Like a dress. You can get a dress under 100. These nice pants that I have coming later in the year under 100. So it's between 60 and 100.
Awesome. What surprised you most about building this like product-based brand?
I think it's how long it takes. Like it is some serious development, and I'm just like, why can't I just get the next round of samples like tomorrow? Like, do I need to start sewing? Like, it was take I'm like, okay, I'm trying to have patience, and I'm like not the most patient person, but I realized that okay, I'm not my manufacturer's only client. Like I'm the probably the smallest client they're gonna have. I'm ordering the minimum quantity. I'm just beginning, so of course they have other people they need to serve. Then it's like figuring out the fabrics when half of them feel the same. I'm like, I don't know, you just don't think about that. And then you put the sample on, and I'm like, oh yeah, I like this. And then my product development team is like, well, what do you like about it? Do you like the stitching here? Does this bother you that the neckline's here? Does this bother you that this stitch is? I'm like, oh, I did not even look at that. Like, I'm not even thinking about that. Like, hey, this is like ruching right here. Do you like the armpit holes? They need to be like deeper, but how much deeper? I'm like, well, I don't know. So it's been like crazy how much time and details goes into creating it. And especially when I'm sharing and documenting it all, and I have a lot of people's opinions coming back at me, it's like, oh, well, just because I thought of it, someone else thought of something else. And they're like, oh, did you think about this? And I'm like, no, I didn't. So then by the time I've realized, okay, I need to think about that, the sample two's already come back, and then now we got to go into sample three because yeah, it's a long process. And I didn't realize how long, how much money it costs to really finalize your first collection.
Yeah. I'm sure that's like, some people think, oh, it's going to be easy. I want the skirt to look this way and that's it. But you're right. Like there are such little details that go into making a great product, right?
Right. And especially, I hired a product development team, so I actually pay them on retainer. They design and develop all my products, and they are partial owners of the manufacturing facility. So it's kind of a turnkey service that I decided to invest in. And so I've been investing in that since October. And it's like, okay, they're actually making these from scratch. Like they take my inspirations, but they're not just printing on a blank. It's like every single measurement is measured on me. So that's what's been crazy. It's like, okay, I understand like streetwear companies that sometimes they'll just like launch t-shirts or launch like I don't know, pants, right? But a lot of that stuff is already just pre-made, pre-sized stuff, and mine is so custom that it's like, well, how much do you want the collar? How long do you want the collar to be? And I'm like, well, what standard? But then again, I'm not trying to be standard, so it's good having guidance like that. I don't think I could do it on my own, like just out there just trying to find manufacturers and stuff.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Love how you've shared a bunch of that journey with your audience on Instagram. And I think it really does show us how much you care about this being like a quality brand and how much thought you've put into it. And it's been so interesting to just watch the different iterations that you've made of the products and the things that you think about. Like I watched your video on the armpit holes and I was like, you know what? I've actually stopped wearing shirts for different activities because of that, but I never would have thought like that's why it was uncomfortable swinging, right? So it's been very cool to kind of watch you go through that, but it does I think we get to see it in warp time online, you know?
Yes, yeah,
So
because I'm in the thick of it, like, come on. Yeah,
yeah,
I try not to,
yeah.
I try to give the summary of what's wrong with the item, not, everything. But yeah, that's another thing I really wanted to be able to share with the viewers at my future customers. Like, this is how it gets to where it gets to, because I would like that from a brand. Some of the biggest brands I love, like even Aloe, like I like Aloe, but I'm like, why did y'all make this? Like, who did y'all make this for? And it's like, I know they can't explain every single piece, but I can, which is the luxury of being a small brand, is that I actually care about that. And so it's like, let me break this down so that people can fall in love with the process and build it with me. And that I'm not just building it for me, I'm building it for you and you and you. And I'm listening and I'm commenting back to every comment, and I'm like there, you're building it with me. And so that was really important to me.
Yeah, it totally shows. Can we talk a little bit about, because I know a lot of our listeners are jumping into new businesses or thinking about whether they're going to take the plunge into a new business. And I didn't actually know this about you, but Sport Athletics is not your first business. So can you tell us a little bit about either your first jump into entrepreneurship and what made you decide to do that, or what made you decide to take on this new challenge in addition to what sounds like a very full and busy life?
Yes. So it all started back in college. So it was 2017. I was getting ready to get married to my first marriage. I was getting married, and I wanted a videographer. And I wanted this videographer that was like famous, obviously from like Tennessee, and I'm from Texas. And my parents were like, we're not paying for that. And I was like, fine. Well, I'm like Googling like how can I make like $6,000 to pay for this videographer to come video me. And so it's like, you be a videographer. And I'm like, duh, I'll do wedding videography. So go on YouTube, and I'm like, I'm gonna be a wedding videographer. I got my college fully paid for golf, so I got a full ride scholarship for golf, and so my parents had like a little bit of money saved up to give me for college. And because of that, they were like, you know what, you can have that money, and since you got your college paid for, well, it was only like 15,000, but I spent that all that money on camera equipment, bought 4 cameras, tripods, you name it, right? And I was like, I'm gonna start shooting weddings. So I contacted my venue and I was like, hey, I'm trying to get into wedding videography. can I do a promo video of your venue? Right. So they're like, yeah. So I did it for free. It was like a 2 minute video. It was terrible. And I got 5 brides messaging me to shoot their wedding. So the first one I did for free. Second one was like $200. Third one, 500. I just started raising my prices. Next thing you know it, I'm shooting 45 weddings a year. I have a full on business. And I'm like, how old was I? Like 20? So 21 or something like that. I started doing that, and then got married, got pregnant, and I needed a W-2 job because now I want maternity leave. And so I knew a realtor, and I was like, you know what? I know how to do wedding videography. I just need help doing real estate photos. So could you teach me this, and I'll work for you like full time, right? So he actually hired me on salary, and then I started doing real estate photography and video during the week, wedding videography on the weekend. And then real estate photography and videography is very, very, very lucrative. So all of the realtors were like, who does your photos? Who does your video? Well, I was on a non-compete. And so I was like, so I quit after a year of working for him, had my son, quit, and then I started my own business doing real estate media. So now I'm a full real estate media wedding videographer. So then that thing just exploded. So then I kind of put wedding videography to the back burner. I kind of did my last wedding last year, which was great, finally out of that. And now I am a full-time real estate videographer. And I have a team. I have like 2 photographers that shoot for me, and like a director of operations kind of girl. And then in the midst of this, in 2022, I actually opened a candy store with my best friend. So it's called Sugar Sugar. So I opened the candy store. Then we got into pickleball, and we didn't have time to run the candy store. So we sold it to a realtor. But now I just do real estate photography, videography. We shoot like 1,000 homes a year. So that's my full-time job, and that takes up a ton of my day time. So because I'm so much into media, the marketing for Scored is all me. I do the marketing, the videos, the photos, the social media. That's so easy for me, and that's very expensive. I know how much it costs because I know how much I charge. So I'm like, okay, because I'm getting that part handled, I'm going to spend the money on the product development side. So it's kind of like hire your weaknesses. So that's what I decided to invest in. But long story short, I'm on like this would be my 4th business, I think. So yes.
And what advice would you give to somebody who's not quite sure if they should, you know, jump into being self-employed?
I think people that aren't sure, like there's never going to be a perfect time to start. Like you just have to throw yourself in the water and like figure out how to swim, because like the only reason I started Scored is because I knew there was a if not them, then who's gonna start it? Like I can't just keep complaining like, ugh, why are there so ugly golf course clothes, and if they are cute, why is it $150? So I'm like, you know what, I'll do it. And I turned 30 this year, so I like to do big things on my milestones. And so my 30th birthday project to myself was, you should start another business. Why not, right? So I was like, I'm going to do Scored. And so I needed to start at 29 and get it going so I could launch it when I'm 30, all that stuff. So I would suggest just do it. And yeah, you're not going to know what you're doing at first. You might suck, but watch YouTube videos. YouTube, like you can look up anything on YouTube and just like put yourself in it. Like I watch so many clothing brand owners on YouTube, like in the car, hours, like while I'm driving to my real estate appointments. And I'm constantly trying to figure out like how are they doing their marketing? How are they doing that, this, that, the other? Even I hired a mentor, and just really invest in what you're trying to do and go 100% in what you're doing. And if you believe in yourself, keep telling yourself that you're going to succeed, and you will. It's kind of a fake it till you make it.
I love that term. I use it all the time.
I
Yeah.
do too. Yeah. You're our
Yes.
people, Hannah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you told us a little bit about like the first version of this business, pickleball and the pivot to golf. I love that. Um, what fears came up for you when you were like, if not someone else, I'm going to do it. What was one of the first fears that you had to get over to kind of get to where you are with Scored?
I think it was like, okay, you may not appeal to everyone, and that's okay. Like, you're not trying to sell to every single woman on the internet. I mean, that's like what, 5 billion people maybe? I don't even know.
Mhm.
And so I have to be like, okay, I'm okay to take criticism on social media if it arises. Like, I'm okay that there's some people that have been like, why would you wear a t-shirt on the golf course? Like, I did a teed up collection just to create some hype. And I'm like, but what about your life outside the golf course? Can't golf still be a part of your everyday life? That's why the teed up collection exists. And golf clothes are coming later. And it's like, well, why would you do that? Why would you have this and da 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 da? And I'm just like, I just have to ignore that. But the biggest fear is just negativity that arises on the internet, but it's kind of inevitable. Another fear was like running out of money, but it's like, okay, if I run out of money, I'll just work harder in my other business, right? So, that was a fear too, but it's like, okay, all these people that if they keep getting held back by their fears, it would have never existed. Like the iPhone would have never existed if Steve Jobs just kept thinking, oh, like who's gonna buy a screen that where you type on the screen? Like they want buttons. Like, but it's just about believing in yourself and like keep pushing and then people will start to follow and believe in you. So
Can I ask you, like, because you said like you even hired a mentor, right? What what made you do that? Like what part of you was like, okay, I'm maybe I'm in over my head or whatever it was, like
it was just watching YouTube videos and I'm like, okay, I can't talk back to them. They can tell me all this knowledge, but I have questions. So let me reach out. And he was like, uh yeah, if you want to join my exclusive group of other brand owners who you can bounce ideas off of, go ahead and you can apply here. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to take the leap and I'm also going to apply here and invest because why not skip mistakes? Like I would pay to skip a lot of the mistakes that I could have made. So I decided that that's worth the investment, especially with how my schedule is. Like I don't have time to make all these dumb errors. Like my job is very demanding, and so I was like, let me just go ahead and spend the money because time is money. And I'd rather just skip that part and go ahead and ask them all the questions that I need to ask that might be dumb. Like, how do I ship a product? Like, because, even it's like people don't tell you that because they think it's a no brainer, but people that don't know, we need to know. And so it's just, I'd rather just pay for someone to help me out.
yeah, no, I'm totally with you. What's been like, because it seems like you started a couple businesses, some male dominated fields for sure, right? What's been different about building a business as a woman?
I think it's like something to prove to myself. Like I am very motivated by doubters in my life. Um, I think it's just I've been through a lot. So I was adopted from China when I was 6 months old. So I was left on the side of the road. It was a couple days old. I was adopted. I was adopted, which I just posted a reel about this. I was adopted when I was 6 months old. Had a great life. I started golfing because of a boy in eighth grade. Actually, he started golfing really late to get a full ride scholarship. And I was like, you know what? Like, I'm gonna golf and I'm gonna get a full ride scholarship. Like, I just knew that that's what I wanted to do. I've always just been a motivated person, had a lot of drama in school, a lot of like girl drama that revolved around guys. And it's like, I feel like I have a lot of people that doubt me in my life. And I, uh, like, instead of like facing them, I'd rather just be so successful that it just, nobody can say anything. So, and it's even, I'm married to my wife now, and my parents aren't supportive of it. So I've kind of lost like family too. And so it's like I should probably go to therapy, but instead of going to therapy, I just start another business. So it's like it fills my free time, so I don't have time to be sad or think about anything. I could just go to the next business. So that's kind of what like motivates me to like just keep going.
You know what? You are our people. As you talk, I'm like, same girl.
Yeah, it's like let's just avoid the trauma and fill our free time with things that make us so busy that we can't think about it.
Yeah, exactly. We have no time to think about our trauma. We're just starting business after business. You said like obviously fake it till you make it. Was there a time where you were like, okay, like I really have to fake it till I make it in this situation?
Not so much with Scored because we haven't like officially launched anything, but with my other businesses, 100%. I mean, I first started shooting weddings, I was just on automatic. One of my cameras overheated so bad during a ceremony one time, I had to whip my phone out, catch the first kiss with my phone, and it was like so last minute, but I had to do it. I was like, okay, yeah, this has to be so still. Um, just even shooting real estate stuff, I didn't even know what I was doing. I'm shooting on automatic. I finally like switched over to the correct settings, and I'm like, so I faked it till I made it with that with those two businesses. Scored, I'm like, I'm pretty confident in. I feel like I'm not faking too much, especially because I have a golf background. So I feel like a little bit more confident with this actually needs to be on the clothes. We actually need pockets. We need tee holders. Like I don't want to lift my skirt up to get a ball out. Why can't there just be a pocket on top of the skirt? Why are we lifting our skirts up? Like
Yeah,
what are we doing here? So
so
I feel
true.
pretty confident with Scored because I decided to actually hire a mentor early, which I wish I would have done with my other two businesses, is hire someone early to figure that out. So that's why with this one, I was like, I don't have time because I have to launch it when I'm 30. So let me just get the mentor, now.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I think like um I love your thought process as we go through this, like even the skirt pocket thing, like you're right. Why are we lifting our skirts up?
Yeah.
Where there could just be a pocket on top, right? How are you handling like because we know that golf now for women is kind of gonna hit trend, right? Like if it hasn't already, it's coming. How are you handling the comparison on social media with all these other brands who might not be even putting in the same effort as you?
I feel like I truly am in my own lane. I follow so many brands and I truly admire, like For All, I love what they're doing. I think that they're an amazing brand. Their price point is high, and I just feel like that there's no other brand that's coming in at the price point that I'm gonna come in at. I don't know if you're familiar with like All In Golf, but they're cute, expensive, and I'm like, I love that for them, and it's just like I can't find someone that's comparable to what I'm doing at the price point I'm doing. So I just kind of like find inspiration from them, but like, okay, how can I do it my own way? And so I don't really like compare myself to the other brands, but I do draw inspiration from the brands, if
And I
that
think that's like social media 101, right?
yeah.
That's literally a trend is drawing inspiration from something else, right? So, no, kudos to you. What is one thing about female entrepreneurship that not many people talk about?
I think it's that I feel like when you're a female entrepreneur, people already expect you to fail. And so when you're a female entrepreneur and you succeed, you automatically gain the respect from males in general, especially if you're good at golf. So my favorite part is just like being good at golf and being a female entrepreneur and people not knowing that this isn't my first rodeo. I have had many businesses. It's just that this is the one that I'm truly passionate about. And so I think it's really hard when you hear any female say, "Oh, I'm starting a business," because it's like, "Oh, like how long will that last?" I feel like that's society is like, "Oh, like is it like how's your small business going?" Like have you seen that trend that's like, "How's your small business going?" And I feel like if a man's like, "I'm starting a business," they get so much more street cred and
Yeah.
people automatically are like, "Oh, that's going to be sick." Like, cool. And if it's women, it's like, oh, so how are you gonna make that work? Like you already have a little bit more doubt, which just makes me want to just succeed even more. But I feel like it is hard to be a female entrepreneur. I get like in my DMs like bro a lot, like dude, that's so cool. And I'm like, actually, I'm a girl. Like actually, I'm a woman. Uh, yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it. Female entrepreneurship is really hard because you already are like 3 steps behind men.
Do you
Mhm.
think as female entrepreneurs we're expected to show up differently just in the business space, in the way that we behave, in the drive that we have than our male counterparts?
Yeah, I feel like they expect us to maybe be a little bit more timid with our dreams and how we approach situations. And I feel like we just have to, again, fake it till we make it. And even if we don't have that dominance in us, we need to fake confidence and fake dominance until we actually are confident to believe in yourself and like speak highly of your own business.
Yeah, so true. So true. So, Hannah, what's a question that we didn't ask you that you wish we would have asked? Is there anything that you want to tell the female entrepreneurs out there about like your journey or your brand? What did you hope that we would have asked you that we haven't got to yet?
I think you guys asked some good questions. I just like sharing the story of Scored, and I hope that we can like look back on this and be like, you guys were one of the first people that wanted to like have me on. And I hope that I can look back on this and be like, you know what, Brittany and Jennifer believed in me when I didn't even have a collection out. And so I don't know, that's cool to me. I
Yeah,
appreciate
when
you.
our podcast reaches 1 million streams and you are doing more than $1 million a year, we'll have you back on and we'll talk about
Yeah,
this moment.
we're all joined back together.
Yeah,
Yeah. Let's
exactly. Well, Jen,
totally.
you know what time it is.
We should get together on the course for that, ladies. We should play some golf when we revel in our success, a year from now, 5 years from now, whatever it is. So
Yeah, that'd
yeah,
be
it's about that time where I do the highlight reel. So I think three big takeaways for me were fake it till you make it. Confidence is a learned skill. Jump in the water and figure out how to swim. I love that. Just like do it before you're ready, just do it. The other thing that I loved about what you said is be intentional. You talked a lot about how intentional you've been about everything in this business, about, thinking through who the people are that you serve. I think there's a lesson in there about being really intentional about the things that we do and doing it 100%. And the last thing that I love that you said when we were talking about comparison and things like that is just succeed. Then it's undeniable. No need to compare, just succeed. I love that. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast, Hannah. We're so happy to have you. And we wish you all the success. And I will be wearing your polo all summer, I'm very sure. And yeah, thanks so much for
Thank
being
you
here.
so much. I appreciate being on here.
All right. Well,
And
that's
with
another
that
episode.
said, that is another episode of Ambition After Hours. We will tag Hannah in every single post that comes out about her just to help her brand grow. And so you guys can get some of that awesome, affordable merch. Thank you, Hannah. And we look forward to seeing your growth.
Thank you.
Later, leaders.